Alright, we are here in beautiful sunny Florida, and today, people, we are going to be doing something a little special here. If you cannot tell by the title, we are going to be going over my 2016 MMA betting results year in review. Hopefully, no more technical problems. I've had a lot of technical problems trying to get this video going. Not sure what it is, just a bad luck kind of day, I guess, starting off the year on a bad note. But, nah, man, I've had a lot of fun breaking down all my stats over the past year, taking all the notes, preparing for this video. It's going to be an awesome time, man. If you don't know me, if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel before, I will give you a little background on myself. I've been a fan of MMA for 10 years now. My name is Kelton. I am 21 years old. I do, in fact, live in beautiful sunny Florida. Been a hardcore MMA fan for 3 to 4 years now, and I got into the MMA betting circle at UFC 195, which is exactly 1 year ago today. Man, it's crazy how things turn out. I've been on YouTube for about 3 or 4 months now. If you would have told me a year ago today I would be making this video, I would have called you crazy. But man, I was just kind of sick of being that guy on Twitter, just typing away my thoughts and just being the keyboard warrior. I just wanted to get a platform going where I express my thoughts in a video form, use my voice. And I've loved it, man. It's been great on here. I wanted to get a little community going. Starting to do that. We're closing on an 80 subscribers here. My video views have been going up. Very happy about all these things, and hoping to keep the train rolling, man. And the amount of things I've learned in MMA betting in this past year, and the amount of just fucking awesome people I've met this past year is amazing. I quickly want to do some important shoutouts before I forget. First and foremost, Rockstar Z. When I got onto the MMA Twitter scene, he was really one of the first guys I hit up asking for MMA betting advice and asking for support, and he was very happy to give it to me, man. And me and him are very close friends now, and we talk on almost a daily basis. He is also on YouTube, MMA bettor, content creator, very, very sharp guy. Very good with technical breakdowns. But yeah, man, go check him out. Daniel Levy, Best Fight Picks, host of the Half the Battle podcast with Sean Carey Tattoo. He's one of the bigger names in the MMA bubble. He's a true OG, been doing this for a very long time. When I first started, he gave me some great words of encouragement, gave me some great advice and support, and very thankful about that. He is actually a very good friend of mine now, too. We talk almost on a daily basis as well. Go check him out. Will Martin. He's given me a lot of great advice and support on the YouTube side of things. When I first started this 3 or 4 months ago, he sent me a very nice message saying that he thought I was very good at this. I should keep going. My numbers are gonna grow, and he was exactly right. My numbers have grown, and I've been each and every video I do, I love this even more, man. So shout outs to Will Martin. He's also a YouTuber and great MMA bettor as well. And then lastly, new guy on the scene, even newer on the scene than I am, the MMA Prophet. He burst onto the scene, man. He's killing the betting game. He's racking in all kinds of units, and me and him talk on almost a daily basis as well. Very, very cool guy. I enjoy my conversations with him a lot, and he's given me lots of support as well and advice. So go check out all four of those guys. All four of their YouTube channels are going to be linked down in the description. But let's get into this, man. Basically, I'm going to be breaking this down into 4 parts. This might be a little bit longer of a video. Wouldn't blame you if this really isn't just your thing, but I feel like you could learn a lot and have a good time here with me making this video. So let's just get into this, man. I want to say I'm not just going to sit here and stroke my ego and talk about all the good. I'm for sure going to talk about my fuck-ups and where I can improve. And maybe you unexperienced or experienced bettors can learn something. So the 4 parts I'm going to be breaking this down into. We're going to start off with just quick, simple stats. Then we're going to get into some of not just my biggest winning plays, but some of my favorite plays. Then we're going to get into some of my biggest losing bets and bets that just made me look plain stupid. And then lastly, we're going to get into what I learned I am best and worst at. So, simple stats here. I did profit 11.5 units this year, which I'm very happy about. I went into this this with no experience. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So to finish double-digit positive units, very happy about that. I was plus 28 units at one point, and I wanted to finish out the year at plus 30. Didn't come close to that, but I had a very rough 5-week stretch there, and I actually dipped down to minus 10 units. And I had a very good past couple months. I sharpened things up, and I did bring myself up back to 11 units positive. I did go 8-4 on months. My biggest month was April at plus 14.9 units. My worst month was October at a very terrible minus 23 units. My biggest winning event was UFC 206 at plus 10.6 units. My worst event was in that terrible month of October, which is UFC 204. Lost 18.5 or 18.4 units there. I was just so off that night. None of my bets hit, and then I even chased with a 5-unit parlay, and that didn't hit either, man. Just very tough night for me. I actually quit for 24 hours, but I had some people hitting me up telling me not to quit, and I was like, I can't quit anyway. I'm having so much fun doing this, can't do it. Got to keep going, and I made some adjustments, and things have gotten better for me, man. So getting into some of not just my biggest winning plays, but my favorite plays. These aren't ranked or anything, just chronological from the beginning of the year. I had 1 unit on Brian Barberina at plus 390 versus Sage Northcutt. That was very easy for me. I was very impressed with him in his win against Joe Ellenberger, and even his loss against Chad Laprise. And Sage Northcutt, he was still is a very green fighter, not that great. So easy bet for me there. Something I would not do these days, but I'm very happy this cash looking back on it. The Wonderboy Hendricks card, I had a 1 unit 3-leg parlay of OSP, who beat Cavalcante, Benavidez, who beat Makovsky. So 2 big favorites there, and then the last leg was Wonderboy against Hendricks, and I had that at plus 370. I was just super confident in OSP and Benavidez, and then I had a strong feeling Wonderboy would get it done, and I just wanted the big line on it. It was more of like a fuck it parlay. I had no idea what I was doing. Nowadays, obviously, I would have bet Wonderboy straight up. I can't remember the exact line on him, but I'm pretty sure it was close to 2-1. I kind of gave up on 3-leggers, but I'm thinking I'll bring them back in 2017 to a small degree. Got to stay sharp, got to pick the right spots. But if you don't know, some of my favorite plays that I've been very sharp at is fighter wins by decision props. I got a good read on if a guy will finish or not based on his finishing ability and his opponent's toughness, whether or not he will get finished. But first of many big winners with those, I had a half unit on Justin Scoggins via decision against Ray Borg at plus 480. Another one, I had a half unit on Michael Bisping via decision against Anderson Silva at plus 440. And then on my biggest winning event in my biggest winning month was UFC Tampa, which is where I live. It's funny how that works out. I won big on Glover Teixeira that night. I was very confident on Glover against Rashad. I had 2 units on a parlay of him and Rose Namajunas at plus 135. Had a 1 unit on Glover in the distance at plus 170. So I won 4.4 units on him there. I was just very confident. Glover is just a guy that's still in his prime, very dangerous on the ground and striking. Rashad Evans looked terrible against Ryan Bader. I feel like he's just a shot fighter at this point. And then I had a half unit on John Jones via unanimous decision against OSP at plus 800, won 4 units there. Felt like that was an easy one for me too, man. John Jones, he had the layoff, and OSP is a very tough guy to finish. So I felt like he would win a decision, and then John Jones is so much better than OSP, so I added that unanimous onto there. So good 4 units there, man. Another decision prop I had, a half unit on Brian Caraway via decision against Aljamain Sterling, plus 620 to win 3.1. Biggest winning bet I had all year was 1 unit on Amanda Nunes, wins round 1 against Miesha Tate at plus 700, won 7 units there. And then same card, UFC 200, very good night to me. I had 1 unit on Jose Aldo via decision against Frankie Edgar, plus 310. Easy bet for me, man. I just felt like he was so much sharper than Frankie Edgar. He had already beat him. And then I added the decision onto that because Frankie Edgar's a very tough guy that doesn't get finished. And Jose Aldo is not a finisher, so that was easy for me, man. Plus 310, damn. But A gut feeling bet here. This was just in my gut. I say you always got to go with your gut, no matter how stupid it may seem. You got to go with your gut, man. I called Jake Ellenberger against Matt Brown. I got him at 260 there. I won big on Talus Ladies against Chris Camozzi. I had 1 unit on Talus Ladies and Marina Moroz at plus 130. And then I had 1 unit on Talus Ladies plus 370 via submission prop. So won 5 units on him there. I just thought that was a terrible matchup for Chris Camozzi because he's pretty bad on the ground, and Talus Lady is so good on the ground. And then I won big on Derek Brunson against Uriah Hall. I bet him straight. I had 3 units on him and Dunham in a plus 100 parlay, and I also had 1 unit on the under, so I won 5.4 units on Derek Brunson there. And then getting to the end here in December, I had 4 units on Jorge Masvidal straight up at minus 200, which won me 2 units. That was an easy bet, man, because, Jake Ellenberger, he's a guy that wins by either starching guys with his power or out-wrestling them, and Jorge Masvidal is so good defensively, both striking and wrestling wise, so I just thought that was a terrible matchup for Jake Ellenberger. I thought Masvidal should have been like a minus 700, so happy with that one. I had Cub Swanson plus 180 against Doo-Ho Choi. That was just like a level of competition thing, man. Doo-Ho Choi had never fought anyone even close to Cub Swanson's levels, so when I see a line like plus 80, I gotta take that. And then also at UFC 206, I had like 4.5 units on Donald Cerrone spread throughout parlays. Some of those were just him straight, some of those were Cerrone in the distance, so that won me big, but I'm not too happy about that just because it was very close. Matt Brown had Cerrone in some tough spots, but yeah, like I said, UFC 206 was biggest winning event, mostly because of Donald Cerrone coming through for me. And then capping things off, man, just 3 nights ago, I had a hedge that I absolutely loved. This was probably my favorite play of the year, man. I just felt so confident in this. I had 3 units on Amanda Nunes plus 190. And then I had 2 units on Ronda Rousey via submission at plus 115. So a Nunes victory would have got me 3.7 units, and a Ronda Rousey submission would only lose me 0.7 units. And obviously Nunes went out there and destroyed Ronda Rousey, so I got 3.7 units there. So yeah, man, getting into these, man, let's have some fun with this part, man. My biggest losing bets and bets that just made me look stupid, man. Again, these are chronologically going to go through these a little faster. This one stung, man. It wasn't a big loser or anything, but it just sucked real bad. It was my first event, UFC 195, first betting MMA event. I had a parlay of Brian Ortega, who beat Diego Brando, and then the other half of that was the Michael McDonald, Masanori Kanehara over 1.5 rounds, and that lost by just 20 seconds. So that stung really bad. Mike McDonald, of course, got that submission there. It's funny, man. That was my very first total. The very first time I bet a total, and it loses by 20 seconds. So that one sucked real bad. But this one made me look dumb here, man. I took a half-unit shot on the Rumble Johnson-Ryan Bader fight to go the distance at plus 400. That made me look real bad. We all know what happened there. But UFC 196, I had a parlay on Conor McGregor and Holly Holm. We all know how that turned out. I had a half-unit shot on Henry Cejudo via decision against Mighty Mouse. That made me look real dumb. I had 3 units riding on Pat Cummins at UFC 198. I thought he was just gonna rip right through Little Nog and just take him down and beat the hell out of him, but I was wrong big time there. Shout out to Rockstar Z. I think he had a bet on Little Nog there, if I recall correctly. Now, UFC 199, which was my second worst card, I had some massive fuck-ups there, man. I learned a lot here looking back. I'm just like, what the fuck was wrong with me? First of all, I lost 4.3 units on Rockhold against Bisbing, which burned very bad, but wasn't my worst fuck-up on the card. I had a total of 5 units riding on Beneil Dariush against James Vick. Was very confident, and he goes out there and starches James Vick in the first round via KO. So I won big, right? Nope. Obviously, nowadays, if I want to put 5 units on a minus 150 guy, I would just bet it straight, but nope. I was inexperienced, and I fucked up big time. I had a 2-unit parlay on Beneil Dariush and Hector Lombard. Obviously, Lombard got KO'd. I had a 2-unit parlay on Dariush, Cruz, and Rockhold. Obviously, Rockhold went out there and got knocked out. And then I had a 1-unit parlay of Beneil Dariush and Cole Miller. And obviously, Cole Miller got out there and got his ass beat by Alex Caceres. So bad fuck up there, man. But I learned, I improved. You gotta have fuck ups when you first start out and learn from yourself. But getting into some more of these, man. I bet 3 units on Carlos Condit straight up against Damian Maia. He got smoked. That one hurt. And then Fight Night 95, Cyborg versus Landsberg. This card killed me with chasing, man. This really killed me. I was only down 4.5 units, but then I chased and I put 3.2 units on Roy Nelson wins round 1 against Bigfoot Silva, and then I put 4 units on Cyborg wins round 1 against Landsberg. And then obviously both Roy Nelson and Cyborg won in round 2. So I lost 7-point units there, and that was my 3rd worst card I ever had. And then my worst card, which I talked about, UFC 204, lost 18.4 units there. I was just simply so off. I got swept that night, 0 out of 8 bets. And then I was only down 13, well, I say only, but I was down 13 units. And then I chased a 5-unit play of Gegard Mousasi, Vitor Belfort won't start round 3, which it didn't. But then I parlayed that with Bisping Hendo won't start round 4. Obviously, the Bisping Hendo fight went distance, and that sucked really bad. Like I said, I quit for about 24 hours, but couldn't go through with it. I just love doing this shit so much, and I'm glad I kept going because I had a pretty damn good November and December. But then lastly, my biggest losing single play. I know I said I lost 5 units on Dariush, but that was spread out. This was just a single play. I had 5 units on the Demetrius Johnson, Tim Elliott, under 4.5 rounds at plus 100. I just felt like if Tim Elliott was going to win, it was going to be by an early miracle submission. And then if Demetrius Johnson was going to win, he was going to absolutely starch Tim Elliott. And Tim Elliott, I guess I just underestimated how goddamn tough Tim Elliott is because he went out there and survived 5 rounds with DJ, so I lost 5 units there. So last part here, getting into what I learned I'm best in, what I am worst at. So now this was really fun for me to research all my plays over there. If you don't know or haven't been following my channel, after that horrible 5-week stretch that I talked about, I had a few months. I made a video called "What I Learned Betting on MMA," and I gave a bunch of stats there. You can go check out that video. It wasn't really my best work. I was just in like a frustrated mood there. But in turn, after making that video, I really refined, sharpened my game out, and it worked. I made 10 units in November, and I made 9 units in December. So what I did has been working for me. So I'm going to talk about what I stopped doing and what I started doing more of and how these adjustments worked for me. So before my adjustments, I wasn't really taking enough shots on dogs. I was super weird with underdogs. Like, I don't know, man. I just wasn't taking enough shots on dogs. Like, I wasn't confident. I was just doing too many parlays with favorites. I don't know, man. But I'm glad I am now. Since then, I've been taking a lot more chances on dogs. And in the past 3 months, I have gone 14 out of 28, which is 50%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 50% on all those plus money dogs. I've profited 7.6 units on underdogs over the course of the past 2 months. So definitely more shots on underdogs. Of course, keeping it sharp. No stupid plays. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So now talking about something that was killing me over the course of the first 9 months was parlays, particularly 3-leggers, which those 3-leggers over the first 9 months netted me minus 13 units. So I cut out 3 legs for the most part. I only made 3-leg parlays in the past 3 months. All of them were only half-unit shots. I only 1 hit. But it did net me a unit, so we're just going to keep staying light on those. Now, when it comes to regular 2-leggers, I've cut back on those moderately. I kept it sharp, and I've actually been on fire with parlays the last 3 months. The last 3 months, I have gone 25 for 38, which is about 66%, which has netted me exactly to the dot 20 units, man. I'm very happy with the way my parlays have been going. So, Then I was thinking, I'm like, so if the dogs are making me money and the parlays are making me money, what's been costing me? How come I haven't been making more units? And then I found out that it is the totals, man. Overs and unders are killing me. Now, I'm not telling you that totals are bullshit and not to play them, but like I said before, it's MMA bettors are just like fighters, man. All bettors have different styles, and they all have strengths or weaknesses, and they all just have stuff that they're better at or worse at than other people. And for me, my weakness seems to be totals. I just can't gauge a good read on totals, overs and unders. So I am going to be cutting back on those. I'm still going to do them, but I'm just going to sharpen them up and play them way less. And then one last thing I want to talk about when it comes to styles on betting MMA is amount of plays per card. I'd say the majority of super sharp MMA bettors only have like 2 to 5 plays a card, and that's fine. If it works for them, it works for them. Keep going. Everybody has different styles, but I know me personally, and also shout out to MMA Profit, who I talked about earlier. Me and him like to have around 10 plays a card, and it's been working for us. And I think that just comes down to the confidence in our reads. I just feel like by having so many plays, the odds are in our favor, man. Just the odds are in our favor to where if at least half of them hit, we're gonna profit, man. I just in the worst case scenario, if at least if a little bit less than half of them hit, which it would just be a small loss, man. Ever since I sharpened up a few months ago, I've only had one card where less than half of my plays hit, and it was still just our minus 4.7 units loss. So all in all, man, I've had a very successful last couple months, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The really only adjustment I'm gonna make is I'm gonna cut back on totals, and I'm gonna step it up, or I wouldn't say step it up, but I'm gonna do a little bit more on the parlay side. Just because I've been so on fire with them, man. But not gonna get loose. I'm gonna keep it nice and tight, sharpen up, and yeah, man. Gotta play less totals here. I suck with the totals, but like I said, gotta keep doing my thing because I am very sharp right now. Fortunately, not to toot my own horn, but that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around here. I've had a lot of fun doing this. Subscribe to my channel, man. There are some big things coming on this channel. Already in talks with some other content creators. We're going to get some fun things going on here. So subscribe to the channel if you want some more of this. Big shout out to John Lee of the 3026 Breakdown. In my opinion, he's going to be the next big MMA channel. He does a lot of original content. He's definitely doing something different here, and he's doing a awesome series called How I Watch Fights, featuring some of the best MMA bettors in the game and how they break down fights and how they bet on them. And fortunately, I'm going to be a featured guest on there. I'm going to be talking to him either tomorrow or Wednesday, which I'm super pumped for. I don't know when he's going to put out the video. That's up to him. But go subscribe to him, man. He's doing some great stuff on his channel. I'm going to link him below as well. So, yeah, man, follow me on Twitter. Hit me up. Let's talk some fights. Like this video if you made it this far. It just takes 2 seconds of your time. Comment below and tell me some of your favorite bets that you cashed this year. And, man, I hope you all have a great 17. Let's all win big this year, cash those bets, and above all, enjoy the fights.